Hi, I'm Pablo. Doing a special edition on the Black History Month. I did a little researching, and I don't know, the Lord put it in my heart to do it. I was watching this movie, Enemy of the State, and so went along the line. There was this little girl. She was telling his father. It said, Dad, you know that the White House once used to be called the Presidential Palace? And that stuck to my mind and stuck to my mind even after the picture was over. And then I said, oh, well, man, let me look it up on the internet. We could get anything on the internet these days. So I did. I started running to a lot of information to different websites. So I started picking and writing. It took me all night, most of the morning. And this is what I did. I put my glasses, I can't see. In 1901, the President of the United States, William McKinley, is assassinated and is succeeded by Theodore Roosevelt. In that same year, President Roosevelt delivers a 2,000-word speech to the House of Representatives, ordering to curb the power of trust within limits. That same year, the President officially changes the President's House, which was called since 1800s, to the White House. Later on that year, the only African American congressman, George H. White, has his seat taken away. No African American would serve in Congress for the next 28 years. In 1902, Black Americans known on record lynched. 85 Black Americans known on record lynched, and hundreds lynched off records. 1903, 85 blacks lynched. 1904, 76 blacks lynched. 1905, 57 lynched. 1906, a race riot in Atlanta, 10 blacks and 2 whites killed. 65 were lynched. 1907, 94 lynched. 1908, many killed and wounded in a race riot in Abraham Lincoln's town of Springfield, Illinois. 99 lynched that year. 1909, on February, the centennial birth of Lincoln, national appeal led to an establishment of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, an organization formed to provide use of the courts to restore the legal rights of Black Americans. That year, 69 lynched. 1910, city councils of Baltimore, Dallas, Texas, Greensboro, North Carolina, Louisiana, Kentucky, Norfolk, Virginia, Oklahoma, Ridgeboro, St. Louis, Missouri. The court declared the ordinance unconstitutional to segregate neighborhoods. 67 lynched. 1911, 60 lynched. 1912, 61 lynched. 1913, on April 11, the Wilson administration began government-wide segregation of workers' workplace, restrooms, and lunchrooms, which was for whites only all over the place. 51 were lynched that year. In 1914, World War I began. 59 were lynched. 1915, renowned African American spokesman Booker T. Washington died on November 14. That year, 51 were lynched. 1916, 49 was lynched. 1917, one of the bloodiest raids by whites in the nation's history took place in East St. Louis, Illinois, on July 1 all the way through July 3, reported 40 to 200 killed, hundreds injured, men and women, children burned out of their homes. August 23, the same year in Houston, between black soldiers and white citizens, 2 blacks and 11 whites killed. Late that same evening, 18 black soldiers were hung, 36 lynched. 1960 lynched. 1919, In the U.S., there were 6 race riots on blacks across the United States. 96 lynched. 1920. 1920. New York City Black Harlem Renaissance, a remarkable period of creativity from black writers, poets, and artists, including authors as Claude McKay wrote a book Harlem Shadows, 1922. Jean Tomor, book called Cain, 1923. Alain Locke, The New Negro, 1925. Countee Cullen wrote a book, Color, 1926. On that same year, 53 were lynched. 1921, race riots in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 21 whites and 60 blacks killed. The violence destroyed the progress of a thriving African American neighborhood with its business district. 1959 lynched. 1922, an anti-lynching bill was brought to the Senate. It was killed by filibusters in the United States in the Senate. 58 lynched. 1923, 29 lynched. 1924, 16 lynched. 1925, 10 lynched. 1926, on May 19, Omaha, Nebraska, civil rights leader Malcolm X was born. That's it.